Hello everyone, I'm Al Grego, and this is the season finale of the Yes, We're Open podcast. Today, I'm in Parry Sound, Ontario, located on the eastern shore of the Sound after which it was named, connected to Georgian Bay. Parry Sound is 160 kilometers south of Sudbury and 225 kilometers north of Toronto. With a population of just under 7,000, Parry Sound is a great destination for outdoor enthusiasts, with plenty of activities for all seasons. There are several provincial parks and numerous conservation reserves, including the Georgian Bay Biosphere, one of only 13 UNESCO sites in Canada. The area in which Parry Sound is located is also known as the 30,000 Islands and is considered the world's largest freshwater archipelago, covering 346,000 hectares of shoreline ecosystem and over 100 species of at-risk animals and plants. Parry Sound's main industry is tourism, thanks to the aforementioned activities and its central vicinity to Ontario's cottage country. Cottagers are drawn to its downtown by a variety of boutique and artisan shops. I'm headed a little north of the downtown core to visit the subject of today's story, Parry Sound Friendship Centre. I'm outside what looks like a 1960s era school building. As I enter, I see pieces of Indigenous art, including a 3-foot-tall wood-carved totem statue, and a display of various Indigenous artisan objects such as wooden bowls, a basket, and an Indigenous medicine wheel.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
That's Delores, the Executive Director of the Friendship Centre. Delores takes me on a tour of the facility. The old classrooms have been converted into offices, a computer lab, a common area with a kitchen, and what looks like a daycare. The old school gym still looks like it's being used as a gym, but on one end are shelves of supplies, exercise equipment, and folded tables, likely used for gatherings. Our tour ends in the computer lab. That's where Delores and I set up for our interview.
Wanabujo, Shingwa Konsendeshnikas, Makwandodam, Manishna Bekwendao, Parry Sound Denjaba, Matagami First Nation in Diane. Translated is, my name is Little Pine. I'm from the Bear Clan, and I presently reside here in Parry Sound and have been here since January of 2016. I'm the Executive Director here. I originally come from a small First Nation in Northern Ontario, which is Matagami, and it's just south of, about an hour south of Timmins. The Friendship Centre started by a group of 15 individuals.
What year was that?
On February 2nd of 1967 was when the centre was incorporated. So that was like 55 years ago today. We have 2 living members, and they're still today on our board. And that's Joyce Tababadon, who is our president, and Dora Tababadon, who is our secretary.
My name is Joyce Tababadong, and I'm from Wasauksing First Nation, and I'm presently the president of the Parry Sound Friendship Centre. Discussions started back in the 60s, and it was along the 69 corridor. There's 6 First Nations, and it was the chiefs of those First Nations that would talk about a place. We needed a place in Parry Sound. Back in the day, Parry Sound was kind of the hub. And there was buses and trains that people would, they'd come into town and shop on Saturdays or whatever. And then they'd wait for the bus or train to go back to their First Nations. Well, sometimes that wait was 3 or 4 hours, or sometimes it was into the night. And so that's one of the first needs that the chiefs saw. And there was no place to visit, or if you were in town, there was high school students, they had no after school hours location for events. So they spoke with government. It was the province, the Secretary of State at the time. They had negotiations, and we didn't incorporate. We had our first board in 65, 66. We incorporated in 1967. We were renting for a while. We rented in Parry Sound for about maybe 20 years. Once the Friendship Centre started and it was open, all the First Nation people would come there, and it was well used. And high school students would take their friends there, or if you wanted to meet someone or have a meeting, we always went to the Friendship Centre.
People from the surrounding 6 First Nations, which are Wasauksing, Shawniga, Magnetawan, Henvey Inlet, which is also known as Pickerel, and Moose Deer Point, and Wata, which was originally back then it was called Gibson. There's 29 Friendship Centres in Ontario.
Okay.
And Parry Sound Friendship Centre is one of the first 6 to open in Ontario. These founding Friendship Centres that they called the original 6, we have one in Parry Sound, Kenora, Thunder Bay, Toronto, London, and Red Lake.
What is the mission of the Parry Sound Friendship Centre?
To provide an engaging environment for the meeting of all peoples and for the development of mutual understanding through cultural and holistic programs, to empower and promote self-expression and to develop leadership, to improve the quality of life through truth and reconciliation for the Indigenous people and surrounding communities.
And then after about 20 years, we had an opportunity to purchase the place we are now on Bow Street. And we were there for a number of years again. It needed a new roof. When the engineer checked it out, it was deemed unsafe.
Right.
So as a result, we moved and we're renting a place now. And we're planning on moving, I hope, hopefully in the next 2-3 years anyway.
Right at this time, we do have several programs. We have a children's program that's infant to 6 years old. And we also have another program, Aquego, that she works with children 7 to 12. And we have a youth life promotion. She works with the youth. And we also have a urban Aboriginal healthy living program. And she also works with infants to elders, more physical and healthy eating. And we also have the cultural program. She's out there providing teachings, bringing in elders, doing ceremonies. And then we also have our healing and wellness. And that particular program also works with those vulnerable people. If an individual is going to prepare to go to a healing center, she'll work out everything for that person.
For about 20 years, we did that. Good programming. Well, the 2 programs that we still have today was the court worker program. And then we had Little Beavers program for the young. And that it was so great because some of the kids went out to see Chief Dan George. They did things, meaningful things. The workers helped them get their social insurance number, their birth certificate, things like that they would need. Right. And took them on outings and practiced some of the our culture, a bit of the culture that we did back then.
Right.
In the summer of 2018, I have a health outreach worker. So I sat down with him. I said, you know what, this year, let's try something different this summer. I said, let's get you out on the street, get you out there once a week. So he said, sure. He started making sandwiches and drinks, and he'd go out there. And it was like when he started out, there was only maybe about 4 or 5 people would come. So he was doing this every week. And then first thing we seen the numbers getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and then just so happened again, we were able to receive some funding again from Ontario Federation. Funding that could stretch us for 2 years. Yeah. So we said, okay, let's do this. So then just so happened there was a place downtown where the old subway was up for lease. And the worker that was out on the street came and saw me and said, Dolores, there's a place in town at the old subway. It's for lease. I think that would be an ideal spot. So I said, get the number for me. So we got the number. It was a real estate company that was handling for the landlord. So I called her, and then she connected me to the landlord. And from there, we went to view the place. We saw this is the ideal. So we ended up signing a lease with them. That location, we named it, and it's called Bindigan, which in the Ojibwe language, it means come in or welcome. Out of that location, actually, we then started providing hot like chili and soup and sandwiches and that. So that originally started in November of 2019. Since November to yesterday, we've served 2,500 people in those 5 months. Since this past, in 5 months. Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah. So it's been we've seen it's been a real need. We've also been working with them and helping them as well. Some of them don't have any identifications. Right. So we've supported them in helping them walk through those steps of getting their identifications again. Yeah. And we've provided also winter coats and boots, because some of them have come in with just wearing summer clothes and that, and running shoes. So those are the services we provide.
After my interview with Delores, I went downtown to check out the Bindigan Warming Center for myself. There, I met Lisa.
How long have you been living here?
For the Friendship Centre, 4 months, since November. I'm a registered nurse, almost 30 years. Needed a change. Needed a change of pace, needed a change. And so I was looking at what I could do, and I was working at the Wissahickon Nursing Station for a bit as their case manager, and realized it didn't work out there, but this is still the path that I'm meant to be on, I felt. So I approached Delores. I handed in my resume, and before I was a nurse, I took food and beverage management, worked in the food industry for years downtown Toronto, Yorkville, King Street. So once I told her that, she was like, can you start today? And cook for the elders with Cynthia. And so that was my first gig. And then I cooked for the daycare center, and I got to be with the children.
Are you from the area?
I am from the area originally. Had moved away. I've lived in Europe, lived in the States a couple of times, and then moved back. I'm a Georgian Bay gal.
Would you say this is as rewarding or more rewarding?
It's more rewarding because I see the effectiveness. I see it right in front of me. And the intent, again, not to save the world, but to offer safe, supportive environments that people can have a chance to consider making a switch, shifting, doing things another way. And we're seeing that that's a possibility. The young ones, and older ones, people are quitting smoking, people are quitting drugs. They're at least trying. They're coming to us excited. And so we're excited for them, but always say, we're here. We're here for you.
Both Delores and Lisa advised me that if I had a chance, I should really speak with Thomas, a staple at Bindigan with lots of great stories to tell. Lucky for me, Thomas just so happened to be there during my visit, and boy, were they right.
Thomas Fraser.
How long have you been coming to Bindigan?
Ever since it opened. Yeah. I've been here right from day one, when they had their grand opening. It was great. It went well. This is a place that is needed here in Parry Sound. Has been for years. We also need affordable housing. We need a men's shelter, right? So this is a step in the right direction. It's getting to the point where they're actually starting here in Parry Sound to do things that needs to be done, which taken too many years to do. If it wasn't for the warming center, though, there'd be a lot of people that wouldn't be able to eat and would be going without. So, this is a great place.
How often do you come in here?
Every day. I'm in here every day. I come in and support them as much as I can. They need somebody to be supportive. I'm here, right?
It's a huge importance. We were closed a week, and we felt and saw the response of, oh my gosh, we're so happy you're open again. And just offering, like today, making the fresh pasta, letting them come in. They all know each other, so conversation. I have music going on. We have Indigenous drumming. Sometimes we have educational things on YouTube that we want to eventually introduce. It's just right now people do want to talk. We've been isolated for so long. People need to speak and just talk to each other, and connect.
What would you say the split is between Aboriginal and just...
I would say almost 50-50.
50-50?
Almost, or 60-40. And that's the point. And people ask me, because I'm not Indigenous, and they say, are you Indigenous? I go, no, that's the point. Yeah. It's for everyone to be welcome. And so I know seniors, I know professionals, I'm like, please come in. That's why we need to normalize all of this.
Absolutely.
and give a place that's comfortable for everyone to come in, have a bite to eat, have a coffee. If you have money, then we welcome donations. And if you don't, then that's fine. And we have other things that we offer as well. We have personal products for male and female, deodorant and shampoo and lotions and razors and hats and mitts, socks, underwear, and always keep something extra in the back because we always have, almost on a weekly basis, someone come and say, I have nothing.
It has to do with healing, and it's a lot of healing.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, with those, now we're up to over 4,000 of those graves have been located, and so it was kind of a real hard and emotional time, even myself, like my mother was residential school, and so was my two sisters that were older than me, and I just missed it by 2 years, but I did end up going to day school in my community as well, so I'm kind of fortunate that I didn't get caught in that. Yeah. I look at, some of the individuals that we look at them, and I always tell the workers, my employees here, don't judge by the shell. You need to look deeper within those individuals because there's been a trauma that's happened there, in their life when they're little, and some of them may not remember it, but their blood memory is still there. So I think this connection now, things are more open now. We're more open and free to do our ceremonies, which is more healing and stuff like that too, yeah.
Up next, it's clear there's a need in Parry Sound for the services being offered by the Friendship Centre. It's hard to imagine where that community would be without them. Yet, there was a time where their existence was very much in doubt. And this time, it has nothing to do with a pandemic. You're listening to Yes, We Are Open. Since 1966, the Parry Sound Friendship Centre has been supporting the area's Indigenous community, providing them a place to congregate, commune, and learn. In recent years, as times have grown tougher, the need for their help and support has grown steadily. Along with their usual programs, they've now branched out to help feed, clothe, and shelter the vulnerable. It's scary to think what might happen to that community if the Friendship Centre had just ceased to exist. Yet, that very nearly did happen.
Now, if I were to ask you of a time or an event or something that was a big struggle for the Friendship Centre that maybe threatened to close your doors, what would that be?
I know when I came here in 2016, the Ontario Federation was in the process of closing the centre.
I became involved again about 6 years ago now. I worked away from the First Nation for a while. I didn't lose touch with the Friendship Centre. I just didn't, because I was working out of town. And I was told that the Friendship Centre was going to be closed down. And would I come and try and help? Because they knew I'd been there before and I had some background. And I said yes. So I became the president. And then I had meetings with the OFIFC. And this was in September. And they gave us 6 months, I think. 6 months they gave us to adhere to some of the regulations that weren't being adhered to. And the reporting, and so they would come and visit us once a month and see if we were living up to our agreement, and we did. I mean, there were some tough decisions, sleepless nights, sometimes just trying to move those decisions forward. But we managed to complete everything, and we weren't closed down.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of hard work. We had a good board of directors who were committed, and then we found Delores.
When I arrived here in 2016, I didn't realize how bad it was. I probably wouldn't have accepted a position. Prior to coming to Parry Sound Friendship Centre, I was working at a healing lodge. I was working in a 21-day sexual abuse program, which was quite heavy. So I was there for about 3 years, and it was probably about all I could take. And then I said, I need to look for something else. Just so happened when this position came up, I applied. And I thought, geez, this would be my ideal position because I felt this is where I want to be. I want to be at the grassroots level and helping. So we moved forward and we survived it. That was so close to closing down.
Was tough.
Sounds like it. How close did you get to shutting?
They said December we'd be shut down if we didn't. See, we would have been okay if all the reporting was done.
Gotcha. So it was mostly just...
It was reporting and then...
Operation,
and some of the workers had been gone, and then there was no reports. And, it was putting things together, trying to put things together. And there was a forensic audit that before I got there, and that was all settled. And I have to commend the board. The board of directors changed, but we've had some good, consistent people there who believe in the Friendship Centre. And there's a lot of enthusiasm what's coming, with the new building coming, and everybody just excited.
Things really started to progress after we moved to this location here in 2018, because now we were beginning to be set up with more modernized equipment. So things just escalated after that, really quick. But our first experience with Moneris was when we used it at the childcare center, where the parents were able to pay through that as well. So we saw that, hey, you know what? Let's see if we could set this up with our website. The outcome of that was really positive. We held an art show downtown. We leased a spot downtown 2 summers ago, and we utilized the Moneris then. And because we uploaded a lot of our arts, which you can't see yet on our webpage. And through the Moneris, it went really, really well. Even as of today, we're still receiving donations through that system as well. So that's been a real positive for us, with that particular program.
Coming up after the break, we find out what the future holds for the Parry Sound Friendship Centre.
This podcast is brought to you by Moneris. Today has shown us tomorrow has changed. Changed how we'll live, work, and do business. Because now we're more open to what's possible. Open to contactless payments, online bookings, curbside pickups, and more. Open your business to more opportunity with solutions to help you succeed online, in-store, or on the go. To talk to one of our business advisors, call 1-866-Moneris or visit Moneris.com today.
Welcome back to Yes, We Are Open. After nearly being shut down by their federation, Joyce and Delores have a new lease on the life of the Parry Sound Friendship Centre. They were able to build back stronger, and just in time too, as the need for their help was only growing in Parry Sound. So how does the future look for the Friendship Centre? Let's find out.
What does the future look like for the Parry Sound Friendship Centre?
Well, it's an exciting time right now for the Parry Sound Friendship Centre. Like I said, we received funding from the Federation's capital funding. So we're able to now today, there's an equipment sitting at that other site at 13 Bow Street. We're just waiting for the locates. And then construction will begin to start preparing the ground to where the building's going to go, and also prepare some of the road sites as well and parking and that too. So that's exciting time for us. And also there's submission, I think around 4 or 5 proposals that have been submitted now. So we're anticipating and crossing our fingers that we're going to receive submission. We sent out there about $23 million to construct this building at that new location. The building is going to house a location where we'll have some, like a museum, or we see it, or maybe as a kiosk system in there. And there's also going to be an Indigenous craft store that's going to have authentic crafts, that are made locally or by other individuals throughout Ontario and that.
I see many more programming there that we'll have room for. We have so many square feet for leasing out to help us maintain the building. Like we'll have some rental areas, and right now we're speaking with some people, a university with our Native Child Welfare. We rent a place there for training. So we do have people that are interested in renting. And then we'll have more programming. We can take more programming, and everything will be in one place, like a daycare center, our warming center. And it's just so exciting. Like there's going to be so much going on, and this building is going to be 3 stories. And the top is going to, we're going to be able to sit out there, and there's going to be garden, and it's just so exciting. It's just so exciting.
Sounds like. Specifically for the Bindigan, what does the future look like here? Do you continue this way? Are there plans to grow?
No, there's plans to grow because there's plans for the new building. But it will be all self-contained. That's the thing, and we'll expand as well because the intention is to have laundry and showers and things like that as well. Yeah.
That's exciting.
That is very exciting. For this town, that's very exciting. Yeah, it's needed.
You learn things over the years and you see things, but there's been a lot of changes here in Parry Sound over the years that I've lived here, and some of them are for the good, some aren't, but this is one of the good ones, and I'm hoping that they have a great success with this idea.
You guys must be so excited.
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited for you, and I haven't even seen this yet.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's going to be a unique building, and I think it's going to be beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Dolores, for your time today.
Okay. Miigwech.
Dolores, is the Parry Sound Friendship Centre open?
Yes, we are open. Definitely. And we are welcoming everybody here. Like, we want to see you, no matter what denomination, nationality they are, you're welcome here. We love to have you here. Come and learn with us.
That's the story of the Parry Sound Friendship Centre. When I first contacted Dolores about telling her story, I had no idea what to expect. I knew it would be different. After all, this isn't a typical business. Their main goal isn't to make money or create a quality product or top-tier service. Any money they do make is quickly poured back into achieving their main goal, and that goal is to simply help. Help whomever they can, Indigenous or otherwise. The only criteria is need. I've been so spoiled these past 2 seasons to be able to travel the country and spend time with small business owners so I can tell their stories. Each visit has had its own highlights, each one motivational in some way. But I spent perhaps my most inspiring day of these last 2 seasons in Parry Sound with Dolores, Joyce, Lisa, and Thomas. As the saying goes, it feels good to do good, and they are doing good work. They've earned the excitement they're currently feeling about their future home. I hope it's everything they're hoping for, and I'm looking forward to taking my family to visit the Parry Sound Friendship Centre's new home when it's finished. Yes, We Are Open is a Moneris podcast production. I'd like to thank Lisa, Thomas, Dolores, and Joyce for taking the time to share their story. You can learn more about the Parry Sound Friendship Centre at psfc.ca. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. For more information about this podcast, visit our site, yesweareopen.com. If you'd like to support us, rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a Canadian small business owner or know of one with an interesting story of perseverance to tell, I'd love to help tell it. You can contact me at podcast@moneris.com. And that puts a wrap on Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to thank everyone on the Moneris Marcom team for their help and support in putting this season together. It truly takes a village, and there are too many to name, so please check the show notes for their names. I'd also like to thank the amazing merchants who welcomed me to their place of business and allowed me to tell their stories. Climb Base 5, White House, Jess's Restaurant and Bar, Super Kick Karate, Meraki Beauty Bar, Power Yoga Canada, Studio Brewing, and Parry Sound Friendship Centre. Please support them by supporting their business. Production on Season 3 will begin this summer, so expect a whole new season of small Canadian businesses and their stories by October of 2022. Keep an eye on this feed. I'll post updates as Season 3 approaches. And finally, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for listening, subscribing, and spreading the word. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. So on behalf of all of us at Moneris, sincerely, thank you for listening to the Yes We Are Open podcast. I'm Al Grego. See you in Season 3.